Hey, Ben here with Stu on the Lake. Hey, here's something new. Been wanting to do this for a long time. So this is going to be the first in a monthly series. I'll try to put it out at the first of the month on extraordinary wood carvers. And the format's pretty simple. I'm going to do a classical, famous wood carver from history, a little short thing, only a couple minutes worth of that. I'm going to highlight a current wood carver that I like, and then at the end you got Ben's picks. That's the guys that are currently carving and currently taking the time to put out YouTube videos. The inclusion is pretty simple. Kindergarten rules, they got to be kind to others. There needs to be some teaching element in there and sharing, and the overall is to promote the wood carving in there. So famous wood carvers from history. It's one of my favorite actually is Grenlin Gibbons. I'm not going to read this to you, but you can see 1648, 1721. His work is all over England. He primarily worked in England. He worked in lime wood, as they said in there, right there in the middle. It's Lemay in Germany, and it's very close to basswood. It's just a slight species off from basswood. So lime, Lemay, Linden are all the same and interchangeable. And he had a long career. This stuff is fantastic. Can you imagine in the 1600s working with the tools available at the time, just your standard old school carving chisels and knives, and getting this kind of detail? As most of you, if you're a subscriber, know that I'm a power carver and do a little bit of handwork, but I can't imagine doing these details. Now, obviously, these are not one piece of wood. They're built up, but these are some sample panels that Grenlin Gibbons did. Look at the detail in this crazy thing. There's a violin that's perfect, a flute, the notes on the scroll there, and the flowers. He's famous for his floral motifs. And here's a plaque that he did. You can read just as well as I can. But look at the drapery, the fine drapery that was done in there, and then the character. He also did a little bit of work in stone, but mostly in English manners, castles, and that sort of thing. He was called the King's Carver, and he was introduced to him, and the king obviously paid him. So this guy made a living doing this stuff. But look how beautiful these are. And it's kind of neat if you look at that fruit on the left there, you can see the wormholes in it. In Europe, the wormholes, worms will get in these wood pieces, and they start to deteriorate a little bit. But this is just amazing. This is low relief. The amount of detail that he was able to get in there. The strings on the harp. The strings on the bass there. So Grenlin Gibbons, if you want to look him up, and each month I'm going to try to put one of these videos out at the beginning of the month, and I'll highlight some carvers, Riemann, Tillman, Schneider over in Germany, and various other folks that I followed over the years. In the many years that I spent in Germany, I went to a lot of these churches and places that have these older carvings, and they are as spectacular or more spectacular in real time than they are. Look at the rings that were done on that. So this is a style. In his style, it said. I don't know who carved this. I couldn't find a reference for it, but this is kind of fun in light of the commission stuff that I'm doing nowadays. Give you the idea of patterns. So there's the carver from history that I'll do each month. And the next thing we've got is a highlight of a current wood carver. Guess who's the first? Jordy Johnson Carving Fusion. That's right.
So we are here. That's good news. I got some more good news. Over here is a Tim Hortons, so I can get a Tim Hortons after. But the bad news is over there is a Dollarama store, so I'll have to go look to see if I can get some more Christmas trees for my Christmas lights. Even though I already have 150 sets, I'm just addicted to the Christmas tree.
Hey, Jordy's near and dear to my heart. This is some of the older stuff that he does, but you got to check Jordy out. He's great. He's a great friend of mine. He's a great carver. He's a spirit man. This is an old spirit he did a long time ago. You can go over there and look at that. A lot of you guys are familiar with me, Jordy, and Just Carve Rob and our relationships in there. But Jordy's awesome. Go over there, give him a shout out. But Jordy is our carver of the month. He does the pumpkins. He's the spirit king. So if there's one guy out there, and this year he's been doing Christmas trees. Don't look at that guy there. He's not a Christmas tree, but that gives you an idea. And Jordy's putting lights in all of these Christmas trees, and he started all the trouble. And then he's done some gnomes in there, and he's copied my gnomes, but
foam, these mushroom things, marshmallow Santas. Yeah, and when you go to the dollar store, you have to get yourself a pack of fusion cookies. Yeah, chocolate fusion. They're awesome. Carry on.
So you owe it yourself. Check him out. Jordy throws a lot of fun stuff in there, like the candy. And Jordy is our highlighted carver of the month. All right, so here are some folks that I follow and I watch their stuff, and their links are all down below, as are all the rest of them. And I would ask these folks to reciprocate and shout out for various different channels and help it out. So first, in no particular order, Mike over at Stennis Sticks. Mike has a lot of subscribers. He gets a couple million views each time he does them, and his work is fantastic. That's Pearl in the background in the middle. Pearl helps Mike carve. So go over and check out Mike at Stennis Sticks. He's also an author. He puts in there some of the teaching stuff. Okay. Now, we've got Matt Carves. Matt's relatively new to the scene, and he's picking up fast. He has a fantastic whimsical style, and you should check him out. Everybody should know Ryan Cook. Ryan's been around for a while. He's done Carver Kings and various different things. We expect things from him in the future. He's a chainsaw guy, but a great character and a good friend of Jordy's. Uncle Kevin, I think, does a lot of work with Ryan Cook. You'll see him in those carvings, and him and Jordy will be in there sometimes. Carving with Varkey. This is a new guy. You can see he's got 212, and it showcases the beginner style. So give him a shout out and help him out. Cleve's Backyard Woodworking. Cleve is up there with the rest of us, and Cleve does some great stuff. Check his stuff out. Gene Messer, what can I say? The godfather of caricature carving. Check Gene out. Give Gene a shout out and give him a little bit of support. Love Gene. Bob Whitehead is unusual. He doesn't have a YouTube channel, but he has a website. So check him out. He does some fantastic scenic work. Kevin Coates. Kevin Coates character faces, and he's just like Gene Messer in that style. If you like a knife and the character stuff, check those guys out. Kyle Hall. Love Kyle Hall. Kyle Hall is doing well without any of our help. He does a lot of chainsaw work in there, and is a great teacher. Give him some support. Linden Bark. If you're looking for a classical European carver, Linden being another European name for basswood, check these guys out. Mark DeMaker. Mark's been doing birds, and occasionally I get some birds done, and I started in birds, but Mark's got a real laid-back style. Check him out. I Can Carve. Kind of an interesting name there. He needs a little help from us. We need to get him over 1,000. He's a beginner carver in there and doing some fantastic stuff. And last but not least, hey, Just Carve Rob. Hi. Just Carve Rob. He's part of that Jordy Studio on the Lake Trinity of the rest of us. So this is about the end of the whole thing. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I'll try to put one of these out each month. Let me know if you like this or not. And I'll keep cranking it out. I can shorten it. I can make it a little bit longer and without torturing you. And hang on for a second. Here's a special note for some of you guys in the background. Share the wealth. Help everybody else out. That's what this is all about. Hey, thanks a lot. Bandwidth Studio on the Lake.